Hi, my name's Sierra. I'm going to be answering questions regarding Vincent and Grant's case study. This is for chapter 13 and 14 of the individual activity. Sorry for the stuffy nose look and the tired look. I'm currently under the weather and I'm trying to quickly nip it in the bud because I get married in less than 10 days. So, I'm trying to do this all quickly with no problems. But I typed out and answered all of my questions on my computer, so that's what I'm going to be reading off of when I'm answering these questions. So the first five questions are going to be about Vincent and his case study. So in regard to question number one, I stated how Miss Jennifer, Vincent's teacher, can help Vincent make snack requests by using pictures, like icons or a simple communication board so that he can point to or hand that icon of what he is wanting for a snack to an adult in the classroom, or in this case, if they want it to be specifically to Miss Jennifer. The teacher should model the word and give him the item in like a productive quick response manner so that he learns that like when he communicates his needs he can receive that rather than throwing a fit or having a behavior like those are not going to give us our reward. Those are not going to give us what we're requesting. But if we ask it in a nice manner and we use our communication skills, then we can get we can get that reward or snack or option that we are requesting. um and then down the line, if they want to use like the snack break as of like a first then, first work, then blah blah blah, then snack, then that can be. But in this case, it seems more like Vincent needing to communicate um his like snack requests and stuff. For question number two, addressing Vincent's behaviors. I said to address Vincent's behaviors, like the throwing the toys or the hitting. One, it's important that the teacher stays calm because if the student sees us get worked up or riled up, one, it can like fuel their fire in a sense. Two, it can cause a disturbance in the class. Like the other students can see that you're scared, that you're upset, so it's going to cause them to. And additionally, your aides, right? Your aides look at you as the teacher, and if they see you freaking out, getting upset, or whatever it may be, then they're going to also. So it's kind of like what they say, like out in public, if an event is going on and like someone causes like havoc and starts to freak out, then everyone around them is going to freak out, so it's important to stay calm so that the rest of your class can stay calm, and then afterwards when you're alone, if you need to decompress, then you can decompress. But important part is to stay calm, that the teacher needs to stay calm. Secondly, to keep everyone safe, if Vincent is throwing objects towards other students in the class, that can be harmful. If they are attempting to hit other students in the class or adults in the class, then it's important to keep them safe first. Remove them from Vincent and what he's doing. Remove them to a safe space, whether that be evacuating the classroom to outside, evacuating the classroom to another classroom next door, whatever it may be, so that everyone is now out of harm's way, is safe, and it's just the teacher, Vincent, and possibly one other adult, so that there's another supervision there. I had that recently this school year, and I evacuated the class. And as I was evacuating the class, I also radioed for my psych to come. And so she has a master key to all the classrooms. So she, as I was helping my student with his behavior of him throwing scissors, pencils, standing up on desks like that and stuff, she came in and she helped me de-escalate the situation as well. So just having another set of eyes is also very helpful. A new body could be helpful, things like that when a behavior occurs. And then to then communicate with Vincent, like what are different ways that he can express, the behavior or the emotions that he's going through other than, hitting others, other than throwing things. And then again, possibly, asking Vincent, to use a communication device or an emotions chart or emotions board to have him choose and show you like how he feels, if he feels angry, if he feels like sick, because sometimes our students do experience behaviors when they are feeling sick. That's sometimes one of our key indicators, like, this is kind of out of the blue, something doesn't seem right, could be sick type of situation. So if he's not wanting to communicate that verbally, or not wanting to communicate it at all, then a communication board or an emotions board can really be helpful so that the teacher is able to understand what Vincent is feeling. And then I also said that the teacher should give praise to Vincent when he uses safe hands and communicates appropriately, and provides like a warning, or just a communication before the frustrations and the behavior happens. When we praise our students, like especially in the times of when they are upset and they're choosing to make a choice that is appropriate and correct, like the safe hands or good language and things like that, it's important to praise them so that they're aware, and can comprehend, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, this is the green choice, good choice, whatever, other teachers use as their verbiage, to let that student know, like, this is, like, that's good, like, thank you for using safe hands rather than hitting your peer next to you, things like that. Question number 3, I put, for in regards to what strategies would you recommend to address his communication skills, I said to improve Vincent's communication skills, the teacher should model short phrases, give him choices, like multiple choices, visuals, icons, things like that, and provide a range of multiple chances for him to communicate during play and daily routines. If it's something that Vincent can communicate well the first time, and he's being stubborn and not wanting to, we don't need to give him 20 chances. But if it is something that Vincent is just now learning to communicate or struggles with communicating, then, multiple chances can happen and stuff. So it's kind of like a fill it out situation, like, your student best type of situation, in regards to how many chances and how many opportunities you give that student for the proper and adequate, like, communication. Fourth question, how would you work with the inclusive preschool teacher, Miss Jennifer, to develop behavior supports? I said to support Miss Jennifer, preschool teacher, I would help her create a simple behavior plan. So not a BIP, but a behavior plan. And again, simple, because a lot of our gen ed a lot of our gen ed teachers have no idea about spedland. They don't know the terms, they don't know the strategies, they don't know the communication. Like, they're unfamiliar, and it's okay, and stuff. But it's important for us sped teachers to communicate, to teach, and to educate our gen ed teachers on this. So as a sped teacher, it would be really helpful to provide Miss Jennifer with a simple behavior plan so that she can just, like, read it, quickly, and have a comprehensive of, like, what to do in situations of Vincent when he's upset, when he's trying to throw things, when he's trying to hit others, when he has outbursts, like things like that, so that she's, like, aware rather than, like, a panic type of situation. And then also, like, when it comes to the communication board or icons or other strategies that will help Vincent, don't just give it, give it, show, demonstrate, and then kind of even practice and stuff. It may feel weird to practice with teacher, but just giving, equipment or strategies to our gen ed teachers, if they're not familiar with it or have never used it, it could be foreign to them. They're not going to know what to do. So it's important, again, not only do we verbally educate, but we physically show as well, with the visuals and everything, and educate our teachers. So that's what I would do to help out Miss Jennifer. I would also encourage her to focus on a couple goals, possibly, and check in regularly with the support staff and for Vincent's progress. Maybe short little term goals of, like, using safe hands, or adequately and appropriately asking for a snack or for help or support, things like that. Not like a whole, like, BIP goal type of situation, but like a smaller and simple and concise, so that it's clear for her to understand. Like, it's the same thing when you make lesson plans for a sub. You're not going to have it be, like, vague or super confusing for someone to see for the first time. You're going to have it be simple, concise, clear, and it can be detailed to where it's still clear and understandable, you know, but you don't want it to be where it's like foreign and like they read it and they're like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, you know, like, so clear instructions and, if possible in this situation, visual instructions and visual support and help to the preschool teacher, Miss Jennifer. Lastly, to support Vincent's mother, because again, it's a team. It's not only home and school, it's home and school together, like when we're supporting a student. So it's important to have that collaboration, like communication with one another to support Vincent. So to support Vincent's mother, I would suggest using the same strategies that are used at school at home, and vice versa, at home and at school, just for that consistency for Vincent. We don't want to have one strategy at home and then it's not allowed at school, or it doesn't get done at school, and then vice versa. And so we really want that clear and flowing use of verbiage, strategies, support, repercussions to be consistent at both home and school. And if something is working at school really well and vice versa is not working at home, then that's when the teacher can communicate with the teacher. Oh my gosh, that's when the teacher can communicate with the parent. Hey, this is what we're doing at school. You said you're struggling with this. This is what we're doing at school and it seems to be helping. Let's try this at home. Or even vice versa. Again, if something's working well for the parent at home but not for the teacher at school, then the teacher can ask the parent, what are you doing specifically at home that we can utilize here? So just like that clearness all across, you know. I would also show her how to practice these skills during daily routines and encourage her, again, to be consistent and praise Vincent when he does communicate appropriately. Just reiterating, just like that clear consistency at both home and school, that will really help students' growth, really help students like with their remembering and comprehending of what to do, what not to do, green choices, red choices, good choices, bad choices type of situation. So I will make a part 2 video for Grant.